Welcome to Focus Garage. Andre is here. I'm at Brad's place. That means we're working on the Fiero non-stop. We just start working on. We accumulated all the parts that we need to get this project going again. Last time you guys checked that we were finishing up the wiring and getting the engine running. So that's where we left it, and we were gonna do some routing of the hoses for the fuel and coolant. Brad is here with me.
In the meantime, we converted the car to a notchback.
Oh yeah, let me show you guys the car.
A cage in rusty somehow.
So, yeah, so we picked up Brad picked up another car while I was gone, and that has the cage in it, so we don't have to worry about the cage. And it's an 88, so it has a good suspension.
The good one.
The good one. So what we did was we grabbed the engine from the black car, the subframe and engine, and just put it in this car. So next thing we're going to do today is replace the radiator, put a bigger radiator in it.
Full aluminum 3-row.
Yeah, so cooling is the key on the track when you're running full throttle, so that's what we're going to do with this. The other thing we're going to do is put the paddle box in there. This is an automatic car.
Unfortunately.
We do have the paddle box from the manual car.
Yeah, we parted out 187, so it seemed like parts hoarding at the time, but now it actually is going to work, so it looks like we planned it, which is pretty good.
We planned it. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to start work. I'm going to start working on the radiator, and Brad is going to tackle the paddle box, and let's just get going. So this is the condition of the car. You can see that the paint is not that great, and we're missing some doors, and it's not the cool GT style. It's the notchback, but we do have the panels for the GT. Two sets, so we're good with that. If we want to swap it, we will do it, but we do like the closed roof for the racing.
It's a lot better for racing, because otherwise you have to glue or rivet or do some other bullshit, and then it leaks, and then you get rain right on your forehead as you're driving, and it's the worst. It's really annoying.
So we do have the seat in there. That was from the old race car that's living there. We're gonna put a bullet on it and end it. So, oh yeah, the other thing is that we were concerned about it with the other car. How we're gonna close this hood? Well, the trunk lid. Oh, I can't get it out. Nope. So this is all installed and it's all closed. So you see that it fits perfectly in there. We might need to do some clearance for that little red spoiler there. We either gonna Dremel that, or maybe Dremel. I vote Dremel the trunk, because that way when we're swapping out cartridges
when they break
because they do. So yeah, the suspension is in the back. When we put the cradle in last night, we put the suspension in.
Yeah.
So everything is the way it is. Everything is still the same way as a black car. So this has a little notch over here for the 4-cylinder. I think the other one doesn't have it.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, so that gives us the extra clearance that we have. So this was a 4-cylinder car. That's where we have that extra room. But yeah, so the
Ton to do.
trunk lid closes perfectly. It's fine. These are the wheels that we're gonna not run, but this is the interior currently. So it's all gutted and ready for some race paint and run the wires. And we do have brand new tank over there. So these Fieros do have problem with the tank.
A lot of them, they tend to sit for a long time when they break down, and typically when they're parked they have a half tank, and it's just a steel tank, so it just rusts out.
Yeah.
So we went through 2 other tanks that both had holes in exactly the same spot. I did find one that's perfect, and some brilliant mechanic lifted this car essentially by the fuel tank. So
My question is that an 88 tank?
it's an 88 tank.
Okay.
It's an 87, 88 tank. There's like 2 gallons more or something in the 87, 88, whereas
And I think also the way it's located in the car is a bit different.
Yeah.
so it
slightly
won't
different
fit.
shape.
But yeah, so let's start with removing these boxes and get the paddle in and get the radiator in. After negotiating with the devil, we got the radiator in. We just needed to customize this bend right here because this is a really big radiator, and Brad is doing the last bolt over there. They got a little bit of nick there, but we do have a special brush to get that fixed, or not.
Or whatever.
But it's in. It's a pretty big radiator. It's a significant upgrade from the. Here you go. Let me show you this one. This is a single core right here. It's really tiny compared to the one over there. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the paddle box in. We're losing some daylight, but we do have light. So yeah. So far, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty tight. So we're gonna install the paddle box. This was an automatic car, so we do have the clutch and the brake paddle from the '87 Fiero. That was the manual. So we're gonna install it right there. We do have the new clutch master, and there's a hole for right here, and this is for the where the brake paddle hardware goes in. So Brett is getting it ready. You ready?
It's going in.
Let's go.
Sometimes we flip this over.
Huh?
Oh, you know what I need? I need my good carpet.
Good carpet.
It's a good carpet. Keeps the studs from going directly into your spine. So it looks like you just need probably flange nuts. 6 M8s. They're probably in that tub.
Okay. So the shifter is going in now. He did a bad job cleaning it. But the paddle is in. Brake paddle, clutch paddle is in. The brake booster, clutch master is all in, ready to go. Now we're installing the shifter, and then we're going to install the GT steering wheel after that. And I think we're going to call it a day for today's work. Or we were going to paint the inside of the car, but I don't think that's going to.
Probably not today.
Yeah, because it needs to be washed and vacuumed.
Boom, now it's a manual car.
It's fixed now.
I think it was a manual car before, but they took every single piece of it out and threw it away.
They were making automatic because automatic wins races. That's what I heard.
I can't say what I think. It'll get radio edited out of YouTube.
Radio.
Oh look, they left me all the nuts. These nuts.
It's coming together.
Yeah. Easy peasy.
We have extra doors to put on this car. Like we have 4 sets? No, 2 sets. 2 sets.
As always, I never recommend picking up someone else's project.
Oh, this is someone else's project, yeah.
But here it is.
Here it is. Here we go. Here we are. But we need to go over the cage to make sure everything is all good before we call it good.
They for sure skipped some welds. They did a pretty bad job. So
yeah.
When I was installing the pedal box from the inside, I noticed that they did some less than 360 welds. So that's going to need some light touch up. It's nothing major, but in fact they actually aren't even required parts, so it's not even that big a deal. It's just the stud going forward, which is sort of more of an impact protection in the cage. But if you're gonna put it there, you should still weld it all the way around. So you have to really peek in. It's on the underside.
Okay. So it's been a long day. We've been working since 6 p.m. and it's 10 p.m. right now. It's been 4 hours, but before that we were working at our real job. So what we have accomplished today?
We wanted to get the radiator in. We got the radiator in.
Checked.
We wanted to put the shifter in. We think that this was an automatic car before.
But I think it's manual.
It's manual now. So all the parts from the 87 that I appropriately hoarded were all readily available, and
there's a box of miscellaneous bolts and nuts that were very handy.
Very handy.
They were organized very well, so we didn't spend so much time.
And I only tried to kick it over once, but Andre's got fast hands. So, shifter's in, pedal box is in, the steering wheel is reattached.
Yep. The GT steering wheel is, yep. So it's
the while we were in there, we were able to inspect all the shitty welds. Can I say shitty on here?
I don't know. You said it
Give
already.
me like a honk or a turbo whistle over that. The guy I bought the cage for the car from, who bought the car from someone else, he missed a bunch of welds. So, you know, on a roll cage, it's really important to do 360 welds. If you can't do a 360 welds, you've bent the cage wrong. So,
we're gonna inspect it again and then weld some parts. Luckily, it's not at the critical points of the cage, so that's good. We just want to make sure that all is good. And also, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna okay. So we did the paddle box, the steering gear, and the shifter, and the radiator.
Yeah, we did a test fit with the seat. A lot of guys
that's another thing.
Recommend doing like a direct floor mount with a Kirky, like a pretty high angle Kirky. For Andre and I, it's probably not necessary. We just can't ever have anyone race that's taller than this.
Like 5'6"? I mean 5'10" or something like that.
It's like 5'10".
5'10".
Depends. Is this my dating profile?
I don't know. We'll
5'9".
see. 5'9". But next is what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get the seat in.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna order the hardware tonight or tomorrow. We're gonna have the brakes some of the brake parts coming in later next week.
They're on their way. They're on their way. So I ordered them straight from Porterfield. On the classic 900, I used the Porterfield had an R4E, which is like an endurance pad. I really liked that pad, and it lasted a really long time. 9 races. I never changed it. I changed rotors maybe twice. But I think this car is going to be a little bit faster, so we need a little bit more aggressive pad. So I went with the Ray Bestos ST43s. And, you know, again, with this car, same pads front and back, so just order 3 sets and let your credit card take the hit.
So we're going to try to get the engine running again inside this car now with the engine harness, and then we're going to do the harness trial and error to get the gauges working, because we do want working gauges on the car.
Yeah. So ideally with this, and we still have one of the parts 900 SEs, ideally there's a driver information center, the DIC, and it tells you all kinds of great stuff, like how many miles until you're out of gas. And the gauge cluster's got some good information in it too, like you don't have any oil pressure, these kinds of things that we want to know during the race. So what we're going to do, we have one of the 900 SE harnesses that we cut out of the car. Probably going to just connect it in the trunk, make sure all the gauges work and do everything we want them to do, and then extend them by the whatever that's going to be, like 6 feet or more. But that'll all be part of the chassis harness that stays with the car. So on the 900 SE, the T5s, there's 2 plugs typically, 1 or 2 plugs depending on the year, and you just take that plug out and lay it over the engine and drop the engine out. So we'll just extend it from there.
Yeah, so wiring is going to be the next thing, and then we're going to tackle, we already put the radiator in, so we'll do the coolant hoses as well at one point.
Yep, the hoses are here.
Yeah, we got the hoses. So yeah, I mean, we don't have much left on this car. It's all the little bit itty bitty stuff that it's gonna take forever.
Yeah, some of the things we missed in the last couple months, we did find like the magic combination of CV shafts. We don't have to cut or weld or do any dumb stuff. There's a combination of a Cavalier shaft with a different tripod bearing on one side, and on the other side it's a Cobalt shaft. So it's all in the family there.
So we can just go to a parts store and get it rather than try to get custom.
Yeah, so that's fine. Basically what we're waiting on now in the front, tomorrow I'm going to order the polyurethane bushings, upper and lower ball joints, probably the tie rod as well, the
inner and outer tie rod.
Yeah, probably just the outers, but
okay.
And then the last thing that's, I think it's going to be here in a week, is the front wheel bearings. So these cars are notorious for eating wheel bearings. Because
destroying them, not eating them, destroying them.
Well,
catastrophic failure.
When you're pulling hard G's in a corner,
on your C8 Corvette,
they just do. They just eat. They do. They'll pull a solid G in the corner, so after 12 to 14 hours of that, if you don't have some pretty heavy grease in there, those wheel bearings are just gonna they'll just chew themselves up. So.
But so that will wrap up tonight's work, and we'll come back over the weekend and do some housekeeping. I would say we're not gonna work on the Fiero, but we're gonna work on other car to get some other stuff off of it.
Space.
Yeah,
space.
Yeah, so we want to have one car in two-car garage and be able to utilize the lift. Currently, the black car is utilizing the lift, but it's a roller now, so we can get it out.
Yeah. Oh, that was the main thing we accomplished today.
Putting the rear chassis back into the car, so make it work.
And that one is an 88 GT. It's as
very
far
desirable.
It's pretty. It's.
So what we're gonna do with that is we're gonna keep it. This is a street legal car, so we need a street legal car to run our test engines on it. So we're gonna keep it as an engine test bed for the further, because we always wanted to have a street legal car. This was gonna be our race car / street legal car, but now it's just gonna be street legal because we already have a cage car. So yeah.
So we still have the 88. Automatic.
Oh my god, that was the first Fiero that we ever bought.
350. So that one will basically just tear down like we did the 87 GT. And then again, with having one race car and one street car, the biggest goal here is to have
no 900s.
No 900s. Have quickly interchangeable subframes, engine, cradle, all bundled together where you can just slap it in there.
It's gonna take a lot of engineering, but
that's all I do all day.
Yeah, that's what we do. All right, thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, I'll leave Brad's personal phone number below so you can call him. All right.
Don't call me.